What is up, everybody? Bobby here, the Nintendo Guru, and welcome to Nintendo Guru Daily for today. Today is Christmas, December 25th. Merry Christmas to those that celebrate Christmas. I've been thinking about doing this since the minute that I knew something was going to happen. So this episode was going to be a reaction to something that I knew was going to inevitably happen, but I didn't want to jump the gun just in case, for whatever reason. Whatever. Sean Capri is closing down, stopping We the Gamercast, and I didn't want to do the video until I knew for a fact that Sean Capri was indeed stopping We the Gamercast. I mean, I've known, obviously, for a little bit of time now, and you know, because those that don't know, Sean is one of my best friends, and we have conversations a lot, and so I wanted to do an episode basically explaining my feelings on what We the Gamercast means to me. Now, I know on his episode he had a bunch of people come on and do that, and I didn't want to I don't know, I just kind of thought like I wanted to do this instead because I wanted to talk to the point, and I'm very long-winded. I didn't want to take up a long period of his show based on me and kind of take that. So my thoughts were, let me do my own video, kind of separate from it all, and so I could spend some more time explaining what We the Gamercast means to me. So, real quickly, I was listening to an episode of Life of Gaming podcast, and James and Josh are talking to this guy, and I'm like, man, this guy is really on the ball. Like, this guy knows his stuff. I really like this guy. Through the course of the episode, as the episode's wrapping up, Josh Brandt mentions that, hey man, I was on Sean's episode of We the Gamercast. You should go check it out. And I'm like, you know what, I'm going to go check that out. So I jump over and I give it a listen. And immediately, I'm struck with, I got to be on this show. This show is fantastic. Like, I need to be a part of this. At the time, I was known as the Geek Guru. I wasn't known as a Nintendo Guru. And I was just doing YouTube and one podcast called the Geekcast with Toby. And I reached out to Sean, and Sean and I did the episode, and somewhere in the middle of this episode, like, we're just talking, man, and all of a sudden, it's just like, the show ends, and we're talking, I think another 45 minutes, and I walk away from that episode going like, man, I really would love to do something with you after this. Like, this is just the best show that I've ever done, man. This is the most fun that I've had in a podcast. I don't want this to end. I don't want the party to stop. And Sean apparently felt the same. And a couple weeks go by, and then we form If We Were Nintendo. And from there, I've spent the last almost 3 years with this guy tied to my hip, man. Even when we both, when I take him off the show because we're going to form another show, and even when I leave to go take care of my personal life, and then when I come back, like, the show was what bound us. And that's all because of We the Gamercast. That show, you go back and you listen to it, And it tied the community so tightly together. In terms of, it was the glue. It was the thing that, like, everybody, like, hey man, you may not listen to the Mega Dads, or you might not listen to Nintendo Dads, or you might not, but everybody listened to We the Gamercast. Everybody listened to it. It was just that show that, like, I listen to Nintendo Dads, but I also listen to We the Gamercast. And I listen to Mega Dads, but I also listen to We the Gamercast. And I listen to If We Ran Nintendo, but I also listen to this. And I listen to Backlog Busters, but I also listen to this. And all of a sudden, it became this thing of, like, this was the thing that drew people to go to other places. Because it was like, hey, I listen to Nintendo Dads, I come in, and I listen to We the Gamercast. And I keep listening to We the Gamercast. And then Bobby comes on. Oh wait, he does a show? Oh, now I'm listening to Nintendo Dads, We the Gamercast, and If We Ran Nintendo. Oh, Grouchy Surge comes in. Oh, now I'm going to listen to all three. The next thing you know, your podcast feed was filling up with these shows. It was like, I don't have enough time in a week to listen to all these shows. But that's what Sean did. Sean would bring us all together. It was a hub of podcasting, indie podcasters, that we would all go into this show and come out better people, because he had this ability to make you feel comfortable. It's almost like a therapy session. You'd go in thinking you're going to talk games, and you come out talking about a failed marriage. I've talked about this numerous times. And the night that I found out that my wife wasn't going to come home, the first person I reached out to was Sean. Nobody else. Not my mom, not my dad, not my best friends, nobody close to me in my real world. Sean was number one. And I go to Sean, and I start messaging him, and I'm like, we need to talk. And I guess because of the hour of the night and all that stuff, he just drops everything. And he's like, what's going on? So I explain. And I think we talked for about 3 hours that night. I think we talked for about an hour and a half. And then he goes, hey man, let's play some games. Let's just chill out. Let's just play some games. And we sat there. We fired up the Switches at the time. We just started playing. And that's the character that this guy is, man. This is the person that he is. That he draws you in. And it's nothing but love. The guy that you guys hear week to week, all the time, that upbeat, that positive person, that's Sean. Even though he might have personal things happening, man, that hour and a half that he had you locked in, you had genuine time with Sean. I've been fortunate enough that I get to spend a multitude of time with Sean all the time. And I feel fortunate for that. I think that We the Gamercast leaving is a very sad moment. I feel bad for a lot of smaller startup podcasts that might not have the opportunity to be on a show like this. Because this show, man, it was something special. It was the best that we were all able to create. As much as we have all these podcasts that I listed, and the multitude more, the Nintendo nostalgias, all that stuff, the trophy room, everything, it's nothing compared to what We the Gamercast is. Such a special, special show. Amazing. So I want to wrap this up with this. Number one, I'm recording this video in true fashion to what Sean Capri would like. I'm not wearing any pants, Sean. And I know that that's not the image a lot of people want. I'm just going to say. But thing is, as Sean always talked about, the greatest thing about podcasting is I don't have to wear pants. So I decided, in respect to Mr. Connery Pants, I'm not going to wear pants. Second thing that I want to say to wrap up is, Sean, thank you from the bottom of my heart. One, thank you for the tremendous show that you put out for us. We will be lost without it. Two, thank you for the incredible friendship that built out of We the Gamercast. Amazingness. And that is all. So, man, sorry. I don't know. This is crazy. Good times, man. Good times. I love you, man. I love you, Sean Capri. You're the best. You are the absolute best. That is all. Hope you guys enjoyed me just rambling and talking. Thank you for letting me ramble and talk about We the Gamercast. One of the best podcasts ever. And if you've never experienced We the Gamercast, go back. Give it a listen. I've been fortunate enough to be a guest on there probably the most of everybody. Partly because of my friendship, partly because I just bullied my way on. And it was the greatest moments ever. Just fantastic stuff. And I'm forever thankful of that. So thank you, Sean. Seriously. But with that, have a Merry Christmas, everybody. I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace out, Preston.